All right, all right, all right. Let's see. All right, guys, here we are, here we are. And I want to make sure that we are all good to go with no distractions. I'm still seeing something on the top of my screen. All right, all right. Well, great evening, and welcome to Table Talk with the Diva. I am Piera Collins, the Fab Diva, and I am excited and delighted about coming to you. I pray that you grabbed your girlfriends and your mama them and your cousin them and tell them to come on and pull up a chair at the table for Table Talk with the Diva. We have the amazing, beautiful, multi-talented, again, Dr. Tamara Jackson. Love it on the platform. So I want you to welcome her with warm love. Send me some hearts, send us some hearts, sends up some thumbs up. Let us know that you are in the room ready for this chat. We are so sorry, and I apologize for the delay, but there was technical difficulties, and unfortunately we can't control everything. We can't control everything. So I want to welcome Dr. Tamara aboard. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Awesome. I am so excited about this. I tell you, and I think that's why the distraction had to come, because he knows you always have something powerful to say, and he didn't want it to get out. But guess what? He gets nothing. He's defeated, and we are on live, Facebook and YouTube live. All right, guys. So please grab your friends. Make sure you tag, share, and like this episode of Table Talk with the Diva. I have someone that is professional, that is powerful, and pushing purpose, and she is elated to share with us today. And so we don't find that often where people are just willing to share, especially for free. So we want to definitely grab our notepads and jot it down, because this is a businesswoman, and of course what she does on that 9 to 5, they get paid to do that. So we are just blessed to receive the blessing from Dr. Tamara. So I am honored today. So, okay, Dr. Tamara, we are going to get going here, and I want you to get ready. We have an icebreaker as always. And so I'm going to give you 3 words. Okay. And I'm going to give you every word that I give you, you give me the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. We're not going to do a sentence. We're not going to do an explanation. I'm going to give you a word. I might say hot. You say dog. I say cold. You say hot. If I say blue, you say red. So whatever you give me, that's what it's going to be tonight. That's what it's going to be tonight. And I'm going to adjust something, because I am looking here and I see something. I need to make the X. I want to do this because I don't want any delay. Okay, I know I saw X up here. I'm looking like, okay. So hopefully you guys can see us completely now. There was a notification up there warning me, but I thank God that I'm able to make the correction. There it go again. There it go. He mad with me, honey. He real mad. How dare you go get Dr. Tamara? How dare you, honey? You wrong for that.
I like when you get mad. When you were doing something right.
Yes, he's angry. He's mad, but it's all good. I'm not. Yes. All right, ladies, and of course, table manners. We always share, we like, and we subscribe to Table Talk with the Diva. It is the platform that has been created for women. So I am the facilitator that God has chosen for this season to do this. So I am asking you to, rally around me, support, share, and allow me to help other women as they are helping us. They're helping me as they're helping you, because of what she knows, I don't know. So I created a platform so that they can share. So as you are learning, I am learning. We are learning and leading together. It is Women's Month. I'm excited. It's almost over. So I pray that you are pushing another woman out in Facebook land and YouTube land. I pray that you are pushing a sister, because that's what it's always about. If you're not pushing someone else and you're not depositing good things and information and empowerment and inspiration into someone else, you are just existing. You're not doing anything. As my mom said, you're just a tinkling cymbal. you're not doing anything. You're not doing nothing. You're making a lot of noise and doing nothing. So we want to push our sisters on today. So I am honored. So we're going to get going. Here we go. Here we go. First word, Dr. Tamara. It is tenacious.
Strong.
Come on with it. Endurance.
Perseverance.
Whew, okay, doctor. She coming for me, boo. She said, I don't need a second. I got it. Last but not least, the word is destiny.
Purpose.
Come on. The favorite, my favorite. Woo! My favorite. I'm loving it. Well, thank you. So we know again that words are important. It is so important what we speak, what we think, and definitely what we speak is what we say. So you need to learn to, if you're not doing it, those of you out there in Facebook land, because I know Dr. Tamara is, that's why she is where she is. So if you are not framing your world with your words, you're doing a disservice. You've got to frame your world with your words, meaning speak life. Negativity is contagious, we all know. And so positivity is just the same or even more, I believe, more contagious. So if we deposit into other people positive things and good things, then it comes back to us full circle. So I'm elated to have her on the platform once again. Thank you so much. And we're going to get started. So Dr. Tamara, let's share a little bit. Tell the viewers exactly just a little bit, because I know you're a bad queen. So tell us just a little bit about Dr. Tamara. Who is she?
Well, Dr. Tamara Jackson, also known as Tammy, to my family and close friends. I'm married. I'm a married woman. I've been married 21 years this month.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
Thank you. On the 31st, actually. And to a wonderful man of God, Pastor Michael Jackson. And we have 2 children, and we have a son and my bonus daughter, right? And then we have twins on the way. My son and his lovely wife, they're expecting twins. So we're excited about that. So I'm a grandmother. I'm a minister. I wear a lot of hats. I'm a project manager in my secular job. And then I'm a certified Christian counselor and chaplain. My heart is ministry work. I keep it real. I'm a down-to-earth person. I'm involved with awesome. My pastors are Apostle Robert and prophetess Dr. Janine Howard. And I am the pastor of Christian education in Abundant Mercy Christian Church International. So that's another hat that I wear. Also a board member of Living For His Purpose Women's Ministry. We push purpose. We're the midwives. Several of them are watching tonight. And so, I'm just a good old down home sister. Happy to be on the platform with the Diva, right?
Yes.
So thank you for having me tonight.
Oh my God. Where do we start, honey? Because you done gave me about 10 hats. I'm just like, come on. I am so excited just to chat with you. I had the opportunity to talk to you before on another occasion, and it was so refreshing and it was just fulfilling. I really embraced you, and you embraced me in return, and it was it was so needed. It was so needed, and you shared a lot of little things. So I appreciate the nuggets. So and of course, they weren't privy to our conversation. So we're going to just go back and kind of share just a little bit of who we are, because I know you can't, do it all in one session. But I've already told you that definitely we've already adopted you in the Winning Together Marriage Club. I said, we're going to do something. We're working on some things. And so we would definitely need your professionalism. As long as you're already a member, we definitely want to, utilize who we have, and you're vital in, couples and being able to kind of help us. So I'm honored about that. So I guess tell us a little bit about the counseling. How did you even get into that? What led you to that as far as your purpose? How did you even get to that point?
I'll be happy to share. One thing I want to tell you before I go there, if it's okay, that we have an awesome marriage conference coming up in April. I'm going to let you know about that. We're Covenant Connection, so maybe we can partner, but I'll give you more about that later, but it's going to be awesome. So,
okay, well, let's talk about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So how I got into counseling, I've been counseling a long time. My husband and I started an outreach ministry, and I mentioned it before, called Lazarus House Outreach. And God birthed that and laid that in our lap in 2000. So we're celebrating, actually going on 20 years this year. Wow. So we're very excited about that. And as part of that, we took on the role of helping those who have been drug addicted, those who have been incarcerated, and then homeless, and anyone who's just having a rough time, a rough season in their life. And so we opened this ministry to minister to them, to offer them resources, to help them get established and just to become an effective citizen again. And so part of that curriculum was counseling them and, helping them get back on track, offering them job readiness workshops, offering them counseling, marital counseling, drug addiction counseling, anger management, all spectrums. And I started out as a pastoral counselor.
Okay.
So for many years, my husband and I counseled pastorally in that ministry of Lazarus House. And we had certified counselors walking with us, coming alongside of us and walking with us to help these people get back on track and see if we could work together to instill in them that they are valuable, that they are needed and that they are loved and God loves them. And so that's where the counseling piece came in. However, I feel like I've been counseling a long time. And I know that when we're operating in our gifts, God began to cultivate them and plant in you and use people to pull out your gifts throughout your life. So when I think back over my life, I believe I was my big sister's counselor, Doreen. I'll give her a shout out. And since I would say, tell me what you think about this. And so I get that often. And so now God just credentialed me. And so I went and I got my master's degree in Christian counseling and therapist. So now my doctorate is actually in doctorate of philosophy in organizational leadership. So it all falls in together. But I love people. I love helping people. And so I've just become a better person trying to help other people. It's just made me better. Not that I haven't arrived, but it keeps me grounded. It keeps me grounded. Absolutely.
I love that. Wow. Well, that is definitely a powerful brief testimony, because you shared a whole lot more, but that is definitely amazing that that got you into that, and to be in a ministry of outreach or an owner, because you and your husband, this is actually your business, being entrepreneurs doing this, and for 20 years, that's a long time, because a lot of people start but they don't always finish what they started. And so not saying that you hadn't gotten tired or things hadn't gotten rough or whatever, and maybe have you had the desire to just want to stop and maybe do something else, or this is no matter what it takes?
Absolutely. We started this ministry outreaching to the homeless just as part of ministry work, and God placed it in our heart to take it further. But there were many times that, when you counsel people and you open, and we did the transitional housing where we would have 30-minute men or women at any given time in the program. And so for me, especially in the earlier years, when I would counsel people and they would relapse, right? The very big part of that walk and that healing, oftentimes they'll relapse. Well, for me, especially earlier in the process, when I was growing and learning as well, I began to take that and put it on my shoulders. Like, I'm not doing enough. My husband's not doing enough. Maybe we don't have enough counselors. Maybe we need more sessions. Maybe we need this. Maybe we need that. And so it had gotten to be heavy. And so I call myself sitting me down. God didn't sit me down. I set me down. That didn't last long because I had no peace when I did it, But absolutely, it's a tough ministry, but it's so fulfilling. The most fulfilling things that we can do in our lives, next to raising our children and our grandchildren, and loving on them.
Yeah.
This is very fulfilling work.
Oh my God.
And so,
Wow.
yes, there were many times where we wanted to kind of throw in the towel. We were challenged in so many areas, when you're ministering and helping homeless people, and then you fall into a situation where you're losing your own house, you're losing your own belongings, you slip into
Wow.
homelessness without being
Yes.
homeless. We had some place to go, like a hotel, and then we had friends that opened their doors to us. But in the midst of ministering to those that are homeless, we made a great sacrifice, not to give up our ministry. And so when we first started, and I'm not going to be long with this, but when we first started, the pastor, the bishop that anointed our ministry at the time and walked through and blessed Lazarus' house, he asked my husband one question. And in 2000, he said, if the choice was ever between Lazarus' house and your house, because you said God called you to do this, He anointed you to do this. If you ever had to make that choice, which one would you choose? And then he went on to say, don't answer it. Well, it actually came to pass in 2003. We had to make that decision. We could have easily held on to our own, but it would have meant moving all of those people out of Lazarus' house into other homeless homes or shelters and whatnot. And God didn't release my husband to do that. We had to walk through that. And what God showed us now, you got a taste of what some of the people you are ministering to have gone through. And so, you couldn't tell them God's got it. He's going to turn it around. He knows what's best for you. All things are working together for your good. These are the things that we ministered. These are the things that we counsel. And so we couldn't turn around and be like, because we're going through something, end it all. We had to stand. And we did that. And oh my God, God began to open doors, and He's just been blessing us ever since.
Wow. So I guess I gave you the perfect word. One of the perfect word was endurance. Oh my God.
Yes.
Talking about standing no matter what. God, you gave us this to do. This is something you placed in our hands. You're entrusting us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so all I hear is endurance that, God, whatever it takes, we're going to do it.
Yes.
Because I can't tell you that I am there. Honestly, I can't. I would pray I would have the same amount of strength to do what you and your husband did, but I don't know if I could do that. I don't know too many people that would do that.
We
It's
didn't.
their business or their home, where they live, and you have children, and of course your children were a certain age because your kids are grown like mine,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't
Yeah.
know if I could do it. I don't. I mean,
We.
I would pray I would, but honestly, just being transparent and for real, I don't think
So
I could do it.
it was just God. It was Him.
Totally,
And
totally.
it was very, very difficult. I'm not going to say it was easy. I'm not going to say, oh, we just went through it. It was tough, but we knew that God was ordering our steps. And
Yes,
so we just stood, and how we did it was God, period. I take
totally.
no credit. To God be all the glory, honey, for that.
For
Because it was
that.
a season, but He didn't let us tarry long. He's so faithful. Some people
Okay.
have been like that in those positions for so long, but He didn't let us tarry long at all. And I am so grateful for what we learned through that. We learned perseverance, endurance. We learned that God was with us for real. If we ever doubted, if we ever walked in any kind of fear, because I didn't talk about that, but there was a period in there that I began to walk in a little fear,
Okay.
listening to the enemy,
Sure. Yeah.
listening to some of the stories that you hear about, especially those that have been drug addicted when they are needing a drug, what they may do, they may
Okay.
rob. And so the enemy began to put all of this in my mind, right? But God always comforted us. My husband was a strong man of God, right? But I would get a little timid, at times. And so The Lord, every time I would get in a certain position or feel like that, the Lord would either send a man of God, my husband would minister to me just what I needed. I knew it was of God, or he would give me something in a vision. And what he gave me in a vision, when I was walking in that fear a little bit, and I would shake it off, but it would come back. You know, the enemy wanting
Oh, yeah,
us to
absolutely. Oh,
wanting
yeah.
me to quit being my husband's help me because he needed me and I needed him. He
That's
wanted
right.
one of us to walk away, and I was more prone than he was at the time. So he gave me a dream. I saw my husband and myself, our little
Mhm.
chocolate faces, and then
Yes.
around us were angels everywhere, tall
Wow.
angels, as high up as you can see and as down as you can look, far down as you can look. Nothing but big, beautiful white angels in all white. Girl, I woke up the next day. I was like, come what will. God is with us. I had no fear. I said, the angels got us covered. And when I woke up, I said, honey, the angels got us covered. And he kind of looked like, okay, yes, the angels got us covered. So he used
Absolutely.
me,
Oh my
but
God.
I'm telling you, from that moment, the fear was gone for this ministry. And there even rose up a deeper love and commitment to
Hmm.
the body of people that may be dealing with these vicissitudes of life during those
Absolutely.
seasons. So,
Wow, that's powerful. That is powerful. Like I said, my hat's off to you and your husband, but
God be the
I can
glory.
relate to the, a little timid, weary with fears, like, okay, Lord, where are you? Because you got us doing this, but look at our situation. How can we help somebody
Right.
else? And so I think that's why I would have been, it's like, how are we able to help someone else if we need help ourselves? This is not, but then that's how he does it. And so,
That's
of
how he
course,
does it.
in the word it says
Yeah.
he takes the foolish things to confound the wise. So it
Mhm.
didn't make sense to you or to probably to your husband, and it don't make sense to me, but it made perfect sense to God. So that's how he worked it out. But he knew
Mhm.
that he could trust y'all with that. And so here
Mhm.
you are,
Yes,
20
ma'am.
years later, with
Yeah.
Lazarus House still
Mhm.
operating in full effect. That is just amazing and powerful. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, we definitely had those questions like, Lord, you brought us to this ministry, but then it looks like we can't handle it. And my first sermon that I ever preached was God wants you to know he did it. So that came to light. I preached it before I ever walked it. I
Come on.
preached that before I ever really understood fully in terms of our experiences that
Okay.
he wanted us to know he was with us. He wanted us to know he's doing this. You're not going to deliver one person. You plant, what do you say? Some plant, some water, but God gives the increase. So he was imparting and instilling that into my husband and I so that we won't take that weight on that we have to do this. And therefore, if somebody relapses, if somebody leaves the program too soon and they weren't quite ready, we know we planted seeds. We
That's
know
right.
that somebody's going to water it. And we pray that one day, whether we see it or not, God's going to give the increase. So those are the foundations that kept us going. And the other foundation, Matthew 25, oh my God, I always mix them up. And I should have wrote it down. But our foundational scripture is, when I was hungry, you gave me food. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. And then all of the people began to say, well, Jesus, when did we see you like that? And Jesus said, inasmuch as you done it unto these, the least of my brethren, you done it unto me. So every time we would minister, we had to remind ourselves, we're not doing this. It's nothing we're doing so great. It's by
Nothing.
God's grace and by his mercy all alone, all by himself, that we're able to even do this. He has graced us. And so it's as unto him that we strive to do
That's right.
what we do. Mhm.
That's so awesome. And that is very, very true. Very true. Because I always wonder, even when you talked about, as you're talking, and one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, basically, it's like with all of that you've been through, how do you even just not take that loads of other people's load? How do you not take that home as a
Mhm.
counselor and doing what you do? And it may be a little bit different for Lazarus House versus in the secular, in your
Yeah.
marketplace. How do you manage and know how to shift gears when you're so close to people's situation and you're having to deal with them. If it's like you said, you're a chaplain also. And as far as, when death comes or you're dealing with a couple with private conversations that you've had maybe with them together or even separate, but it's just really one of those really, really heavy situations. How do you deal with that and have to leave work at work, and when you go home, how do you, so that you can not, be bound down? How do you handle that?
And so in those earlier days of counseling, when I was ready to quit, and a lot of those times is when God was training me. He was grooming me and teaching me how to let go, as I mentioned earlier. So what I do, because it can be heavy, and anybody that's in this field understands, you can't bring everybody's problems home. When I get home, my home is my haven. This is the place where I know I can release. And I release it to God of much prayer, because sometimes you just can't just, okay, I release it. I have to stay in my prayer closet. I have to stay in the word. I have to remember my first ministry. That helps a lot. God first, and then my husband and our family is next. And so I have to learn how to woosah and let those things go until the session. And if I find where I'm holding on to it, or if something's really weighing me down, I have a counselor. I have a mentor.
There you go. Okay.
I don't mention names because I've been sworn to confidentiality, and I stand by that. But if something's heavy on me, I can release it. I release it without telling anybody's information. But yes, so my husband, my pastor is also my mentor / she's been an advisor for me, and that's Prophetess Dr. Janine. I can go to her, and I have my family and close friends that I talk to in terms of if I'm weighted down.
Okay.
And so the biggest thing is to know that you're not the problem solver. What we're doing as counselors, again, we come alongside and we're walking with them. We're advising them and we're listening. Oh my God, we're listening to them. But when we hear things that are heavy, we have to have release techniques, relaxation techniques, baths, candles, whatever you need to release these things, because you can, as a counselor, get that. It's actually a phobia that you can get, or just taking on other people's problems. And if you're not careful, you're walking in it, and you all of a sudden you are depressed, you are sad, and you don't even know why. You are upset, you are snapping.
Absolutely.
So you have to know, you have to be aware of who you are. You have to know yourself as a person and know what is you and what is not. And as a Christian counselor, we have that biblical Christian love of God foundation, and we stand on that. So
yeah, that's what, because I thought about that, and I'm saying, I said, Lord, I don't think I could do that. And I guess we kind of do it in certain ways without knowing that we're doing it, not on a professional level, counseling, knowing all the right techniques or all the right things to say. But as a empowerment speaker, I find myself doing it, and sometimes, so I don't have the training to know how to kind of separate a lot of times. So when I get a call, or I'm actually coaching one of my students, because that's who they are, but the cohorts, when I'm doing that, sometimes I get caught up. And I'm listening, and I'm just like, and the tears are coming, I'm a little emotional. And then I'll, give them what God gives me, or what I'm to tell them, or whatever I'm training them in. But it's like, okay, Lord, how do I let that go? I don't know how to, I really don't know how to do that. I will, pray about it and say, well, I will keep your situation in prayer. I'll take it before God. And, but it still bothers me, to a degree, but again, I don't have the qualifications as a counselor. That's not what I am. I'm a speaker, not a counselor, but unfortunately I get a lot of it, or I get a call or a text, girl, I need you praying, this is going on. And I think it's been happening more so with mothers our age, with their adult children. I'm getting a lot of that. So, it's like, girl, I'm trying to, stay in my place, but, I'm going to have to do blah, 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 ABC. And that person, that child may be married, or the way that they're raising their children, and a better way. And you kind of have to offer, so it's not always accepted. So I find
Yes.
myself with a lot of that, and I'm like, well, this is supposed to be coaching about empowerment and inspiration, and now I'm on here talking to her about her kids or her husband or whatever. So it kind of it goes all over the place. But I'm asking God to give me guidance on how to
Yeah.
separate it. So that's why I wanted to ask you,
Yes.
is like, how do you
Preparation
do
is
that?
key. That's key. And oftentimes you said something when you were talking, crying out. I've cried many of tears.
Yeah.
Last year, a tragedy struck my family as never before,
Wow.
where my niece was murdered. She was
Mm.
shot and killed last year, and we're much better now. But that was hard because now it becomes being a family chaplain, being the
Absolutely.
family counselor, and in the
Absolutely.
same breath, I'm grieving, but I want to hold them up. And so, that was something I had never experienced before. I've experienced tragedy. I've experienced family needing help, but that close to home,
That
that
was
was, it was devastating. However, I still, leaned and depend on God through my tears. God
right.
strengthened me to be able to at least undergird them as He undergirded us.
Absolutely.
He was holding us all up, but He gave me grace to be able to even minister her homegoing. And I didn't think, I told my sister, I'm not going to be able to do that, but we can do all things
That's
through
right.
Christ who gives us
Mhm.
strength.
Right.
And He
Say,
strengthened us, and He strengthened me to be able to do that. And my husband are right by our side. And we got through it. We got through it.
mm, yeah.
And yet we're still getting through it because it don't go away overnight. So,
No, it doesn't.
but we're
No, it
blessed.
doesn't. I can totally understand where you were or where you are in that process, because I had a nephew that was murdered by police officers in Charleston, South Carolina. So when this whole Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd thing, when this whole
Yes.
thing started, oh my God, it just brought everything back, all the
Yeah.
emotions and the tears. And it's like, oh my God, this is happening all over the world. It happened to my nephew in
Mhm.
2006, but then how is it? And it's like, okay, now, Lord, it's being uncovered. So I got a lot, very, very emotional and a little bit
Mhm.
angry. And I was like, oh Lord, I thought I was, better. But when all this started happening, and of course it was more physical, we could see it and being uncovered nationwide. I was like, oh my God. So then I began to think about
Mhm.
how the suffer he was suffering he went through, going through it. I'm saying, okay, Lord, here, this is what they've been doing all the time. So
Yeah.
a lot of emotions, and so it brought it back a lot. So I can relate to being close to home to that. Just watch my family, and like you said, trying to be, and I am
Mhm.
one of the strong ones that a lot of people, we lean on each other and we do that. But it's like, okay,
You
Lord, I
know, I
don't want
like
to be
how you
strong
put
right
that.
now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be strong right now. I was there.
And
I
then
don't
one
want to be
thing,
strong. Yeah, I just
absolutely,
want to be, like everybody else, and just,
absolutely.
whew, yeah. And so
You just want
that's
to let
hard.
it all just, yes. Mhm.
So
And I,
just
and
to
I
be
did have my
accountable.
moment to do that, and I did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Oh wow.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
good. But
I was able
y'all
to
are
do that. It was vital.
right. So counseling. I am learning, because I always, growing up, and being an African American, we used to have a stigma that only Caucasians go to counseling. Like, we don't, like,
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. Why do I don't need no counselor? That's not crazy. But I'm like, for me, I've learned that is self love. That's self care. So it doesn't have to be something going on
Mhm.
wrong. It didn't have to be wrong. And so I
Right.
share with my daughters, when you go, it's not always something has to be wrong, but you can just be needing a self check. This is about you. Make it about you. It's like, this
Right.
is something, it's good to have someone to talk to, and, that didn't have no real part in that, but they can hear you out,
Mhm.
and they can make an assessment and say, okay, this is what I see, or this is what I believe that is happening, or what you're going through, or whatever. So I'm not, but they're the professionals. That's what you all do. You got your degrees. You went to school for it. Like my sister, you got your papers for it. So I want to go
Mhm.
to someone that can help me. Because what I found is going to just a girlfriend, honey, she ain't got a clue because she be on team. Let's go get them, girl. So I'm like, girl, you can't help me because you messing me up. You finna make me snap and I'm about to go left because you ready to go left. And that ain't what I need. It feels good to have that ride or die because I got a few. But I'm just saying, girl, that ain't what I need right now. I need to remain calm and focused. But, and so the counseling, it's always been that stigma that, Black people don't go to counseling or you don't go to counseling, oh, that's a white man. Oh, it's like, how is that? So I'm sure you've heard that before.
Right.
Just Black people don't.
And especially even Black men, they still don't like the idea of getting counseling. But what I tell people, is just like a person that's suffering with any, and this is in the case of mental illness. As I speak about that, just like diabetes, you have to be treated, just like cancer, or just like other illnesses, you have to be treated. Well, if you have a mental illness, that's you just need treatment. You need counseling and you need treatment to get through that, but it's treatable. And so people frown on it because of the word mental, and crazy, and that's terrible.
Crazy.
They associate that word with it. But times are changing now. It's more acceptable. It's more acceptable to need help in that area. And I commend people for reaching out and getting help. And another group of people that do not reach out for help as we should, and that is the body of Christ. People in the church. We do not reach out for counseling. Why? Because God's going to heal us, and He is. The blood of Jesus, we plead it on your mind, and we do. But even God ordained counselors in the Word. Amen. He gave Moses a counselor and his father-in-law. He counseled him. Moses was about to be going to the left a little bit, and his father had to give him his counselor. Well, God is our counselor. He's our ultimate counselor. And so we need to be able to talk to people. I've learned that a lot of people are weighted down because they have nobody to actively, and I said actively, listen to them. Just listen to them. Don't tell them what to do. Don't give them any advice in that moment. They just need to talk to somebody, and for somebody to listen with an open heart and an open mind. Right. And so, that stigma is slowly changing now, but we got a little work to do in that area.
I totally agree. Yeah. So I'm not crazy, or the bipolar. A lot of people are struggling with that, and it's been coming out more and more. And I notice I've been just listening and reading up on so many, even artists and, icons that we may call them, that has come forth and just saying, hey, this is my deal. This is what's happening with me, and I'm like, I just applaud them when I saw that. I will say, the young lady, I love her so. She's an amazing actress, and I know you know who I'm talking about. But she's in Tyler Perry movie. She was the sister Vivian and Vera, and she's done so many movies. But I just love her. I can't even think of her name, but she was like a girlfriend. She was the mom of Tony, but I can't think of her name. What is her? I can't think of her name. But anyway, but I was shocked. But she was on Oprah one day, and I was so taken away, like, wow. And she said, she takes her medicine. She's after she realized what was happening because everybody was telling her, like, you acting like you have bipolar, whatever. And she said it didn't dawn on her. And then when she was like, you know what? Everybody's telling me this. I need to go get checked out. She went to get checked out. And sure enough, she was diagnosed with it. But she said she was embarrassed at first. She said, like, okay, but this is where I am. This is me. So she got the medication. She went and got a counselor, got the help. And she said, I take my medicine even when I'm filming. She said, a movie, if I got to go say, let me go take it. And I can get through my day and do whatever I need to be doing. So I was like, that's when I really started just respecting that. And I was like, wow. I mean, if it is what it is, but she acknowledged it. She went and got help. And she said, I have a counselor. And I have a counselor, and it has helped me. I mean, I don't have bipolar, but I definitely, sometimes I can flip. So I had to listen and say, wait a minute.
So
like, okay, girl. who are you, girl? Because yeah, I can go there sometime. But definitely the counseling, that is something so very important and vital, I think, for everyone to do. And it's for me, I just adopt it as self-love. I said, well, I love myself to go and receive the help, the professional help that is needed. And like you said, sometimes I just need to talk, and they're just listening. And then they'll say, well, do you
Yes.
want my opinion, or you just
Mhm.
need to get it out,
That's
No,
right.
I want their opinion. And so my
Hmm.
counsel, that's what they do. They've asked me, like, okay,
Hmm.
so I hear what you're saying. You said this, you said that. So, do you want to let's dig in, or you just want to release you stuff? No, I need some help. Okay. And then it's like, okay, here we go. This is it, whatever. And so y'all have a way of doing it without letting us know you really do it and making it thinking like, oh girl, I thought about it, but yeah. So I applaud
Yeah.
what you do. That is just so powerful. So powerful. So now do you run a counseling outside of Lazarus House and your marketplace, in the marketplace, your job? Do you do like private counseling,
I
or
do.
how does that work?
I do private counseling as well. I counsel within our church. Our church actually is in the midst of opening a counseling center.
Oh,
And that's to come a little later, but we need more counseling centers in the
yes,
church. In the
absolutely.
church. So that frees up the opportunity for the members and those in the community can come to the house of God, as well as not be judged. But if you need help other than, some of the things, the word is number one. That's our
Right,
foundation. But you need to be able to come to the body of Christ and get counseled from counselors that are Christian counselors as well. At least the choice ought to be there. Ought to be there. So
absolutely.
I counsel married couples. I do premarital counseling, anger management. I counsel children. I do personal counseling. So uh, again, in the umbrella of Lazarus House, we do the outreach counseling, the job readiness workshops, and things such as that. So
So you do a
my door
lot.
is open.
That is awesome. So you said marriage
Yeah,
counseling you do. Okay. Yeah, so this is
yes,
gonna be
married.
really, really, really good. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
marital as
Okay.
well. Yeah, those ready to get married, and
Awesome.
even couples that are engaged, so that they may just be dating
Premarital,
and they're ready
premarital
to
counseling.
pass
That
away.
is so
Yeah.
important. Okay. Yeah, because we did not well, we went to a session, but when you're young and not as smart, you don't really want to receive the truth. And I'll never forget, my husband and I went. And so on my counseling by myself, individually, the pastor said, he said, I don't think that you guys are ready. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, what did he say that for? Oh my God. I was like, he don't know me, and he's not gonna tell me, and who is he, and he's not perfect, and da da da, but young and
Yeah.
silly, and he had the training, he had the qualifications. And so based on his assessment of the questions that he had asked and the things that we talked about, he said, I think y'all need to wait. I think you're moving too fast. Give it some
Mm.
time. And so I was
Yeah.
hard headed. My husband's like, we listen to that. We get married. So it is definitely premarital counseling. I will tell anyone
Yeah.
and everyone, please seek premarital counseling. If you are engaged, listeners, viewers, whoever's out there in Facebook land, I need
Yeah.
you, honestly, to hear what Dr. Tamara is saying about that, because that is important. And I can speak for me and my husband. We just had 26 years on the 8th of March, but our wedding renewal is in April. But had we listened, I don't believe in my heart we would have probably had to endure some of the things that we endured if we
Mm-hmm.
had just listened. And so we didn't do that. And so I think, as my mom said, a hard head make us off behind. You
Yeah,
go, you hear me, but you don't have to listen now, but you're going to wish you had later. So you need to hear what I'm saying. And of course I would hear that. I'd be like, oh, well, whatever, rolling up the eyes and like, okay, mama. Okay, mama. But mama knows, she said, I've been here a little longer than you, girl. So I know what I'm talking about, but I didn't listen. And so I think we went through a lot of things that we probably would not have went through had we listened and just waited maybe another year. So premarital, it is definitely important. It is needed, it's necessary, and it's wisdom.
Yeah, so we don't we won't marry you if we can't counsel you, or we're not the ones to counsel you, that you get some premarital counseling
somewhere. Right.
Yes. So
what is the length of time? How do you what's your time frame on the premarital counseling? How do y'all do that? Is that like 6 months? It's at least 6 weeks.
6 weeks of counseling.
Okay. And I think that's good. That's fair.
Yeah, and we give different assignments, and of course there's a plan, counseling plan that we put forth.
Right. Okay. Well, if you would do me, we're going to wrap it up. So I thank you so much. This has been so informative and educating and enlightening and empowering for me as well as the viewers. So I thank you guys, and please send Dr. Tamara some hearts and some thumbs up. We need you to tag and share. And if you no longer see the red button in the corner, we're no longer live. That means we are on our way home and we're doing our thing. So I need you to hit the replay and share the episodes. It's important. It is information and you're getting it for free. So, I mean, what harm is it to hit the share button? As my mom would always say, it costs you nothing to be nice. So, Dr. Tamara, if you would give them how to reach you on social media or however to be able to reach out, because I'm sure there's going to be some premarital counseling and some other counselors that is needed and desiring. So now you have someone that has been available to you. So definitely, ladies and men, reach out. So if you share how they can reach you.
Sure. So you can reach me, of course, on Facebook, Dr. Tamara Lovett Jackson. That's my maiden name. I put that in there so my homies can find me.
There you go.
Dr. Tamara Lovett Jackson. And you can also DM me or instant message me or private message me, and I'll get back with you. Or you can contact me on 678-463-6528. That is my direct office number. Or you can look us up on our website, which is LazarusHouseOutreach.org. LazarusHouseOutreach.org. And you can email me at LazarusHouseOutreach@yahoo.com.
All right, there you have it. I hope she didn't go too fast. You were able to catch it. But if not, you can check the replay and grab the information. It will be available to you. And I am so honored and thankful for you, Dr. Tamara, for being on the platform and giving God your yes, and also just blessing me with your yes. But you definitely will be back on, because I actually have another girlfriend that is a counselor, and she is phenomenal like you. And so I would love to do something where I have 2 or 3 other counselors on, and maybe we can do a Q&A session. But I'm working on something on a Zoom for that, but I'll reach back out to you for that. And so I definitely would be honored for you all to do that together, because of course everybody has their own little niche of doing things and what they're passionate about when it comes to counseling. So I would love to do that and collab and do that. So definitely we will be reaching out. But this has been a blessing to me, and I'm sure for others. We thank you all, and Facebook and YouTube land. We do apologize for the technical difficulties for starting a few minutes late, but you can definitely catch the replay, and you won't be sorry. So thank you so much. And Dr. Cameron, you have a wonderful evening, and this has been amazing. And I love you, and I do appreciate all the love and support. Have a great night.
well. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
God bless you. This was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
She walks
Thank
in
you,
faith
Diva.
and she's blessed indeed.
Yes,
She
ma'am.
keeps her head and her heels high, and her limit towards beyond the sky.
I was able to get some juice before it ended.
You've tuned in. Table Talk with the Diva. Why? Join in, it might free up. Hey, hey. And if you're feeling down, come in. The enemy just won't win. But God has given you vision, and in the end, you shall win. Hey, Table Talk with the Diva. Why? Join in, it might free up.
Hey, breaking every chain. You come in, you'll be freed.
The enemy trap won't win. But God has given you vision, and in the end, you shall win.
Hey, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Good night. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Bye-bye.